Week 6 New York Giants reaction. They actually won this week. I mean, this is the first time I've said it all year. It feels pretty good to say that. It was not the most encouraging victory. My mindset of this team does not change too much after this victory. But at the same time, a win's a win. You have to admit that. They outscored the other team, although it was a very close game at the end. But they did what they had to do. I mean, what they say is good teams beat the teams they're supposed to beat. Not to say we're a good team, but the Giants did what they were supposed to do. They were favorites in this game. I think the spread got down to like the Giants -1. I don't know how they always get this right, but the Giants literally won by 1 point. So, I mean, Vegas is good. What can I say? But, they did what they were supposed to do here. Is this a game where I'm looking at this team differently now and saying, oh, this team has a chance at the playoffs? No, I'm not. I still don't think this is a very good team. I still think the Giants are probably a bottom 5 team in the football. But at the same time, Washington's not much better, maybe even worse. And, they did what they had to do today. The defense, once again, showed up in a pretty big way. They weren't, spectacular. They had a defensive touchdown, which was great. Tay Crowder and Kyler Fackrell, the main guys on that play. But the offense is still, it's not good. It just really is not good. The, total yards in this game, I feel like were not that good. The Giants only had, let me look, they had 132 rushing yards, 108 passing yards. Is that right? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's not good for today's NFL. They had 240 total offensive yards. So for today's NFL, not the best offensive stats, but they beat them in the turnover category. Kyle Allen made a lot of stupid decisions, and the Giants got the win. So a main note, we'll just do this for the opening notes here. Andrew Thomas was benched in this game, which was very weird to see because I was not expecting that. Thomas apparently was late to a meeting last night, so the Giants benched him. We didn't see him in the first half as far as I know, but when I went back and watched this game, I think I saw him in there on the first drive of the third quarter. So it wasn't like they flat out benched him the whole time. I don't know. He just played like the first series in the second half and then went back to the bench. It made no sense to me. I don't know why they did it that way. I don't know if I was seeing it right. Maybe I was seeing the wrong number, but I'm almost positive that was Andrew Thomas at left tackle to start the third quarter. Then they went back to Matt Parrott, who started the game and actually played pretty well. I didn't look too closely at it, but from what we saw in this game, Matt Parrott was not bad. He definitely was not a weak link. I said I think I said 2 weeks ago or last week, I said I'm at the point where you might as well start Matt Parrott because I think he's ready for it. I had my concerns earlier in the year because he's a third-round rookie from UConn. He needs some time to get adjusted here, but he's proved to me at least that he can play in this league. So I think give him some playing time from here on out. You know what I mean? So Thomas said it won't happen again. I didn't see any type of reasons to be concerned about his character, and hey, we all screw up. I get it. I feel like I'm a good person, but I've been late to things before. I get it. So it is what it is. So hopefully that doesn't happen again for him. But we will get into as I always do, we do the notes section here, and I write down everything that happened in the game. Some important stuff I'll go over. So with that said, let's get into it. All right, so we start in the first quarter. The first thing that really happened that was big, the Washington football team lost their left guard. I don't know if he came back, but I know he was out of the game early. I'm not sure if he came back though. Blake Martinez had a third and short run stuff. That was good to see. There was a 4th and 1 conversion by Washington on their first drive. Dexter Lawrence missed a tackle on J.D. McKissick, who I did talk about in the pregame. He was a pain in the you-know-what today, J.D. McKissick. My goodness. Gained an extra 10 yards on that play. Blake Martinez got hurt. He did come back, thank God, but it did not look good at first. He was on the ground for a little bit. One of those guys the Giants cannot afford to lose. I think the Giants, and someone asked me this before the season, who's the guy the Giants cannot afford to lose this year? I said James Bradberry due to the lack of depth at cornerback, but really another guy they can't lose, probably Blake Martinez, honestly. So thank God he was okay. Washington missed a 47-yard field goal, which of course came back to bite because of the final score. The Giants got good field position there. The Giants' first drive went pretty well for the most part. It ended in a field goal, but Evan Engram on a bootleg type play had a 21-yard catch on the right sideline, I believe. Devontae Freeman had a 14-yard run. Deion Lewis had a swing pass that went for a first down. I think Daniel Jones put some good touch on that ball as well. Jones was sacked on a 3rd and 8. I think he might have held the ball too long. Ryan Kerrigan came in there and got the sack. We'll see on the film review if it was his fault, the offensive line's fault, was nobody open. Could it be a combination of all those things? We'll have to see. Gano hits a 33-yard field goal, essentially an extra point. Giants go up 3-0. Then James Bradberry. Amazing, this guy. Gets an interception. They get the ball on the Washington's 27-yard line. Darius Slayton has a touchdown on the left sideline. Another great throw by Daniel Jones once again. 10-0 Giants. Slayton kind of got, a little hurt on that play. It looked like I don't know what happened. Taylor Lewan tore his ACL. That's terrible. Wow. Good player, Taylor Lewan. Anyway, breaking news on this show. So anyway, Slayton had a catch, and then, I guess it's the MetLife turf, which is terrible, I guess, based on these injuries we've seen this year. Kind of slid the wrong way, then kind of was hobbling and into the locker room. Not the locker room, but towards the, I don't even know what you call it, one of the tunnels. But then he came out, and he played after that, and then he hurt himself again later. So, we'll talk about that when we get to it, but 10-0 Giants at this point. Logan Thomas, the tight end for Washington, had a 30-ish yard catch. I put 30-ish. I put 15-ish, 30-ish. I don't know the exact yardage. I don't really look at it during the game because I'm trying to watch the Giants and watch every other game in the 1 o'clock slate, so it's kind of hard to keep up. But yeah, he was wide open, probably a blown coverage, and I don't know if it was man coverage or zone. Honestly, we'll look at that in the film breakdown once again. Quarter number 2, Leonard Williams had a huge sack, and it was a huge loss in this for that drive for Washington. Kyle Allen made a terrible decision to hold on the ball too long. They tried a play action, and Williams did a great job of kind of pausing, waiting to see who had the ball, then went right at Kyle Allen, made a nice play right there, showed some really good patience and things like that. Then the next play, Leonard Williams and Dalvin Tomlinson stuff a run on the next play. Then there was that long screen pass to Terry McLaurin that almost went for a first down on 3rd and 24, ended in a field goal for Washington to make it 3-10 at that point. Then on the next Giants drive, Daniel Jones had a huge 50-ish, I think it was 49 actually, yard read option run, and the camera was completely fooled by it. I saw it at first. I don't know what the cameraman was looking at, but Jones kept that ball. Someone tackled Freeman. I guess the defensive lineman was confused as well. Jones kept that ball, ran down the left sideline, a 49-yard gain for the Giants right there. So that was great to see right there by the Giants offense. I kind of hope they do more of that because Jones is a threat with his legs. There was a 3rd and 5 conversion to Evan Engram for about 10 yards. The Giants after that were stuffed twice, and Jones, he had a run that came up short of the goal line or the first down, whatever it was, and they settled for a field goal to make it 13-3. So the Giants had a 10-point lead in this game pretty early on. The Giants, and this was a bad one, the Giants had a roughing the punter play when Washington was at, I think it was 4th and 9. They roughed the punter, gave them 5 yards to make it 4th and 4. They were kind of near midfield Washington. Ron Rivera said, screw it, let's go for it. They get the 4th and 4. Logan Thomas has a touchdown in the corner of the end zone on Julian Love. Julian Love, that's a tough matchup for him. Love's not the biggest guy. Logan Thomas is a big athletic tight end. Tough matchup for him. Thomas did a great job of getting both feet down. Washington had a 13-play, 6-minute drive right there. So not good from our defense, but, it is what it is. So third quarter now, coming out of halftime. As I said, this was a time where Andrew Thomas was starting at left tackle for this drive. Don't know why it happened, but it did. So Austin Mack was playing in the second half. I wrote that one down. There was a 3rd and 4 run for a first down by Daniel Jones. CJ Board went down with an injury. It was a sprained neck, I think, and a concussion. So he is probably looking pretty doubtful for Thursday because the Giants once again have a short week Thursday. They play the Eagles. There was a 3rd and 1. Devontae Freeman was stopped. They take a delay of game and decide to punt. A lot of people were saying on Twitter to go for it in that situation. I don't know what where they were on the field at that point. I probably should have wrote it down, but people seemed to be a bit annoyed. They were not going for it and they were playing too conservative. But at the same time, that was kind of the Giants' game plan in this game. They did not come into the game here with the mindset of let's just stomp on their throats. They were trying to be really cautious this game. I want to see how much they threw the ball today. They threw the ball 19 times, so they definitely had a more conservative approach out here. They were not trying to air the ball out 35, 40 times. They really just tried to keep the ball on the ground and have their defense do a good job and just not have Daniel Jones and the passing attack lose them the game. I think that was really the main game plan here, and it almost resulted in a loss, but they got it done. Jabril Peppers got injured in the third quarter. I think he came back later, so that was fine. Slayton had a 20-something yard catch, limped off, as I said before. 3rd and 1 conversion to Caden Smith in the flat that barely got the first down, but it worked. There was a pass interference on a play that went to Austin Mack. Daniel Jones had an interception. This one was bad. And now I don't know if this was a catch because I really don't think the corner brought a knee down in bounds. They went to replay because all turnovers are reviewed, as we know, but it really looked like on the replay that it was out of bounds. So I don't know why they went to replay. To me and a lot of other people that I saw on Twitter, we felt, I know we're Giants fans and we're probably a bit biased at times, but I'm as honest as anybody. I really didn't think that was an interception. But at the same time, I will say this, for Daniel Jones to make that throw, Very stupid. Don't do it. Like if you're gonna throw a ball in the back of the end zone, it better be in a spot where no one can catch it. Like it wasn't even near the Giants receiver. It was just like 3 Washington football players in the area, and Jones threw it not too when you're throwing the ball to the end zone, just throw it in the stands. Like there's no point of throwing it in play where a guy can catch it. Like whether he caught it or not, it's still a very stupid decision. And as I tweeted before, we're too many games into his career now. I don't know what start this is for Jones, like 18 or 19 maybe, to be making dumb mistakes like that. Like especially like in the red zone on the 7-yard line of Washington where you're winning. Like you cannot do that. So whether he caught the ball or not, the decision making was not good. I don't like it. Obviously I'm worked up about this because I'm tired of this guy over and over again, like making these dumb throws. Like I want him to succeed, but we cannot succeed as a team if we're going to make these dumb turnovers inside of a team's 10-yard line. Like we saw week 1 against the Steelers, which was kind of the nail in the coffin that game. Not saying the Giants would have won that game against the Steelers, but at the same time, they could have won that game. The one against the Rams as well, perfect example. They were inside, the 15-yard line, maybe the 10, throws that ill-advised pass that gets intercepted. I know the guy made a great play, but you know what I mean? Like you cannot make these throws in the red zone. He was good at it last year in the red zone, but for some reason this year is a turnover machine in there. So it can't happen is what I'm trying to say here. So quarter number 4, Kyler Fackrell had an unnecessary roughness penalty, 15 yards. Kyle Allen had a key run on a 3rd and I don't know how long it was, but I said for a first down. A couple of catches for Dontrell Inman for first downs. He was actually not bad in this game, honestly. He had some pretty key catches. I said in the pregame, let a guy like that beat you. Let a guy like Logan Thomas beat you. Well, they almost beat us. They had pretty nice performances today, honestly. Logan Ryan had a big pass breakup. It was top of the screen, I think it was, like left pylon. He made a nice play there to knock the ball loose. It would have been a touchdown, so great job by Logan Ryan, who played really well in this game. I know he was the one who was responsible for that last touchdown scored by Washington, but outside of that, I think Logan Ryan had a great game today. There was for the Giants on their next drive, a 3rd and 10 conversion to Golden Tate. I think it was over the middle of the field. 3rd and 6 throwaway that led to a Giants punt with 7 minutes left. For Washington on 3rd and 2, there was a tight window throw to Inman for a first down. McKissick had a 12-yard catch on a dump off, and then there was the play where Kyler Fackrell strips Kyle Allen, and then Tay Crowder kind of kicks the ball, picks it up, runs it back for a touchdown. My man Tay Crowder doing big things. I'm happy for him. I would say Kyler Fackrell is my guy too, because I wanted him in free agency. So those are my guys. I was very happy to see that from them. So on Washington's final drive to try and tie this thing up or ultimately take the lead in the end, they had to go pretty far. They put together a nice drive, honestly. There was a big 30-ish yard catch by Terry McLaurin. I think it was against zone coverage. I feel like it was over the middle of the field. I'll look at that in the film once again. 3rd and 7, McKissick had a 15-yard catch. Then there was Cam Sims, a guy I've never heard of. I've heard of Steven Sims. There's a Cam Sims apparently on Washington too, who had a touchdown on the left sideline on Logan Ryan. Nice double move there. Logan Ryan was late reacting to it, and then it was touchdown. So then Ron Rivera decides to go for 2, and I was thinking that to myself the whole time. I said to my friend sitting next to me, I said, the Giants are going to lose this game 21-20. You watch. And they went for 2. And I was like, oh, man, this is actually going to happen, isn't it? But the Giants did a great job there in the coverage. I'm kind of excited to look over that play with the coach's film and see, the end zone shot and see, how good the coverage was exactly, because it looked like there was nowhere where Kyle Allen can go with that ball. Now, when Kyle Allen was in the pocket, I thought for sure he was going to, roll out to the left and run for the first down. It was basically him versus Jabril Peppers in, a goal line situation. I think Peppers may have stood him up because he's more athletic and bigger. But at the same time, Kyle Allen could have made a miss and ran the 2-point conversion in. So the Giants got lucky there in a sense that Kyle Allen decided to just backpedal and throw a ball to no one instead of trying to run that in. So I will say thank you, Kyle Allen, for that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I was not... it's not a win where I come away saying I'm too enthusiastic about it. And there's different reactions. Of course, I see people on Twitter. There's people saying oh, this is not even a good win. You're better off just going 0-16 for Lawrence. And I see that. I see that side of it. And I feel like if this was a week 14 or 15 game, I might have had that same look. I was one of those people last year when we beat Washington in week 16. I wasn't too happy about it because I knew Chase Young was such a great prospect that I didn't want to miss out on him. But guys, we're in week 6. We're basically a game out of the playoffs. Not to say we're going to make the playoffs, but it's too early in the season to be rooting for losses. And I'm as realistic as anybody. I would love to have a great draft pick, but you cannot have the Giants go like 1-15, 2-14 the first year of Joe Judge. Like, I'm not saying it won't happen because I still don't think this team is that good. I think the Giants are still a 3 or 4 win team. But at the same time, like, you cannot root for losses. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I'm not trying to tell you guys how to be fans of this team. I know I'm not like the best fan sometimes. I get it. But at the same time, I feel like week 6 is a bit too early to kind of just be like, oh, why do we have to win that game? Like that type of attitude. And then you had the people that were like, oh, like, we actually won a game. That's great. A win's a win. Like, we did what we were supposed to do in this game. And that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. But then you have people that are like, oh, we won, but it's not too impressive. We barely beat this Washington team where Kyle Allen was basically handing us that game the whole time and trying to make a good situation look bad, which I get as well. Like, I get every perspective of this. I get the draft position people. I get the Washington's a crappy team and they kind of handed us that win people. And I also get the people that are saying like, oh, we won a game. That's great. And great for the culture in the locker room and things like that. But at the end of the day, I love winning. Like, it's going to be better waking up tomorrow, Monday morning, realizing, okay, like my team finally has a win and not have to worry about being like 0-6 and being like the laughing stock of the league and things like that. And then at least the Jets, the Jets got shut out by the Dolphins today, so we're not like the worst team in New York anymore based on the record, so that's another good thing. But so yeah, I'm happy we won this game. I was not rooting for them to lose. I just think it's too early in the year for that. There might come a point in the year where like I fall in love with the prospect and like I want to make sure we get him, and it's like week 14, 15, 16, 17, and I'll be like, all right guys, like I want you guys to compete, but at the same time, like it'd probably be better off if we lost this game, so it's kind of like weird because obviously I'd rather root for us to make the playoffs, but we're probably going to be in a situation where at least one of these NFC East teams takes off, whether it's the Eagles or Cowboys, and we'll probably be out of the playoff race by that point. But right now, at least, the Giants are in the playoff race. I think if they win Thursday, a game against the Eagles, they might be in first, maybe. Actually, no, because Dallas beat us. So we'd be like tied for first, essentially, but Dallas would have us in like the tiebreaker because they beat us already. But yeah, Philly, I don't know if it's home or away. I should probably look it up real quick. But Philly, I watched a lot of them today against the Ravens. They actually were pretty competitive. Like, they were down 30-14 at one point in the fourth quarter. Wentz threw a crazy just jump ball to Fulgham, who's been great recently. He's a guy to watch out for. He came down with it over like a few Ravens defenders. And, they brought it within, I think it was 30-22. Then they scored a touchdown, made it 30-28, and then they did not get a 2-point conversion. But the Eagles just like shot themselves in the foot all game. Like, they had so many stupid plays. They had a 2-point conversion play that even before the last one that was terrible with like Jalen Hurts, I think, and like a missed field goal maybe as well. Like, they did a lot of like just not good things, honestly. So the Eagles probably could have beat a team like Baltimore, but it didn't happen because they kind of beat themselves in a way. So they'll be looking to come out and get a victory here. But their injury report and injury list is huge. Like, they have a lot of guys injured right now. I saw today that their running back, Miles Sanders, a great player. He's hurt now. Might be Boston Scott, a guy who torched the Giants last year, starting for them. Zach Ertz was limping the whole game. I think Dallas Goedert's out still. I think Deshaun Jackson might come back for Thursday, which would not be good. I think Greg Ward might have been hobbled at some point as well. So, like, there's a lot of injuries here. And, of course, I think Lane Johnson's hurt. Jack Driscoll, their other tackles hurt. Like, they have so many injuries for Philly right now. So, we might get them at a good time, but it's in Philly. I'm trying to think the last time he won in Philly. I think it might have been 2013, 2012 or something like that. So it's been a long time. So do I expect the Giants to win Thursday? Probably not. Like, I still want to see the injury report to be sure, but Carson Wentz has played well recently, so it'll be a tough game. It definitely, if the Giants play, I'll say this: if the Giants play the way they played today, but play the Eagles, they probably won't win. The Giants will have to play a step up as compared to what they did today. Like, they did just enough today to beat a team like Washington. Philly's a bit better than Washington. You have to play to a higher level against a team like Philly. So we'll see what happens, but I think the Giants might be in a good spot based on the injury report, so we'll have to see what happens. I'll try to come out with like a pregame for that on like Tuesday or Wednesday, because of course it's a Thursday game. I can't do my usual Thursday or Friday release for that. That would make no sense. So yeah, I'll try to do Tuesday or Wednesday. Just keep up with the channel for that if you're interested. But that'll do it for this video. I mean, I'm not, as I said before, final thoughts wrapping up here. I am not too optimistic and enthusiastic about this. I guess we'll talk about the quarterback a little bit because that's like the topic of conversation around Giants fans a lot. Yeah, look, I mean, Daniel Jones was not too impressive today. Had that great run before with the read option play. That was awesome to see. He had some nice instances of running the ball. 7 rushes for 74 yards, it says here. The one interception was terrible. Can't have it, honestly. We talked about it before. Can't have it. Like I know sometimes an interception for a quarterback is not the quarterback's fault, but when you're doing stuff like that, it's 100% on you, buddy. I'm sorry. So he was sacked once in this game. I talked about that one as well. Not sure whose fault that was exactly. We'll go over that in the film breakdown. Hopefully that comes out tomorrow or Tuesday. But he had 112 yards. I know it was only 19 passing attempts, but it's not like Washington's defense was that great, so that's kind of like not what you want to see. Last time Jones faced Washington, he had 300 and something yards and the 5 touchdowns. I know it was a different scenario, different offense and things like that, but at the same time, I kind of wish he reverted more towards those numbers and not what we saw here. But there's people, I see more and more people every week talking about how they're out on Jones and like just people saying he's not good. Look, I don't know how I feel about that. I think I'm a little concerned, and I definitely don't know how much of a ceiling this guy has because I feel like he's just a system quarterback that's not in a good system. And when you have that combination, it's really not good. So that's kind of a problem. But we'll see how he turns out. Let's root for the guy and hope he actually turns around his season. And if the Giants get to 2-5, they might be in a good spot here. As I said, they might be tied for first place depending on how Dallas does tomorrow against Arizona, who's a tough team. So we'll see. I mean, it's anything can happen. You know what I mean? Anything can happen. I don't expect to make the playoffs, but at least to have a chance to be tied for first place is pretty cool. And we'll be in week 7 by that point. So I'll sign up for that anytime. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Leave in the comments your reaction to this game. Maybe what you think is going to happen against Philly on Thursday. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.